When it came to this iteration of the show, you are the nucleus of this show.
The mitochondria.
The mitochondria. What's the tardigrade?
I failed biology, dude. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think I ever took it, so I took easy science.
Rock
Science and
science.
tech.
Oh, tech
Science and
science.
tech. Science and tech. Yeah, it was like easy science
That's just
for
like
dummies.
electricity, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Whoa, how's the light bulb work? What's electricity?
Yeah, I was a high school stoner. Thanks, British Columbia's education system. Hello, everybody, and welcome to What the Hell Should I Watch? I'm Steve Stebbing.
And I'm Chloe Stebbing. I am slumming on the couch this week because my Wi-Fi is shit.
We need a boosting.
Yeah.
We definitely need a boosting. But we are the weekly list of what we're watching, which may become what you're watching. And we come at you every Friday at 9 a.m. Pacific time. And Chloe's back.
I'm
Yay.
back. I'm not
Very
dying
happy.
anymore. Well, I'm still dying a little bit, but not enough
But
to miss this, so
yes, exactly. 2 weeks away and we're back almost.
almost.
Almost 100%. Last week, though, I talked about Conclave because
Okay.
Conclave got a release. And I also talked about Seeds,
Okay.
which got a release. And you saw both of those at VIF.
Yes.
So I just quick thoughts on those two movies just to add to what I said last week.
Conclave, I loved. It was not something on my radar at all. It was Steve's pick for VIF, and I absolutely loved it. I loved the visuals, like the stark reds and the contrast of like modern technology, like iPhones and nicotine vapes, like contrasted with the old world traditions of the Catholic Church.
Mm-hmm.
Stanley Tucci, Ray Fiennes, phenomenal. Have to win something at the
Mm-hmm.
Oscars. Um, I definitely recommend it to people. It doesn't go the way that you assume it does or will.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
I was extremely pleasantly surprised by it, and I'm looking forward to watching it again. For Seeds, felt unfinished. It was enjoyable, but there was parts where I was like, can we do a little more? Can we emphasize a little more? It felt like a lot of emotion and a lot of rage that wasn't really used to
Absolutely.
its full potential. So
Mm-hmm.
I want to see more from that director. I can't recall her name.
Like kind of Tio Horn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to see more of what she can do, but Seeds was a little bit of a miss for me.
Yeah. And the other one, have you watched any of the final season of What We Do in the Shadows yet?
Yes, I'm up to date.
Okay. And what do you, it's again, it's damn good, but
Yeah.
it's almost askew to give them purpose in the final
Yeah.
season
Yeah.
as well.
That's what I
Uh,
love about this final season is like they're trying to find purpose other than just existing as vampires. Like they're trying to actually find their place in the world because they don't want to take over like America or Staten Island even. Like they just want to
yeah.
exist, and so just trying to see them find where they're comfortable and where they fit in is just hilarious. And Nandor's arc is, I think, my favorite so far.
It's insane. The
It's
janitor
so
arc.
cute. Like it's cute.
Yeah. Yeah, it really is. And you can tell that Nadia's pregnant,
Oh yeah.
eh? She's because the actress is pregnant with her first child. And so they just make her dresses get wilder and bigger and stuff. But hysterical stuff. Jerry, uh the well, I mean, the conduit of this whole new idea is Jerry. And that first episode is so great. This is a show that doesn't have bad episodes, so it's gonna be fun to revisit that one. So that is extended intro, Chloe,
Yes.
this week. But let's just get to it fresh for your eyeballs. Yes, this week. And it's a movie that's been out for a little bit, but it's got probably two of my favorite actors working today in it, so I had to see it, and I'm a huge fan of the director as well. This is We Live in Time.
An up and coming chef and recent divorcee find their lives forever changed when a chance encounter brings them together in a decade spanning, deeply moving romance. Starring Andrew Garfield and Florence Pugh. Directed by John Crowley.
And John Crowley is a filmmaker. Actually, it kind of goes back to VIFF, because one year at VIFF, his film Brooklyn, starring Saoirse Ronan, was playing there, and that was like the first Saturday screening of that festival, and that one really stuck with me. I love the delicate nature of his storytelling. I love a lot. And Andrew Garfield is incapable of giving a bad performance. I don't think that there is a single performance or even a small role that I've seen him in that he hasn't given it all. And Florence Pugh is the same way. I'm a huge fan of all of her work. Again, I haven't seen a bad thing that she's done. Even Don't Worry, Darling, though not a good movie, she's really, really great in it.
I'm an
And
apologist for that
honestly,
movie, so.
yeah, I know you are. Carries that film largely.
Yes.
Florence largely carries that film. Just the beauty of this love story of two souls that needed to connect, and how the story is told in an out of order kind of jumble, really strengthens it, because I feel like you like this couple, and like them as individuals very quickly into the film, which is a really good selling point for a romantic drama, because the romantic film isn't always my wheelhouse, but I can appreciate really good ones. So I don't know where you sit with this one, but just given the actors in it, I think it might be on your radar.
Yeah, I do like Andrew Garfield, and I love Florence Pugh, obviously. It's just romances are kind of like not my thing at all. But I don't
Hmm.
know. I've been trying a lot of different stuff lately, so maybe I'll check this one
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, I think it's worth it. I do think it's worth it. All right, let's move on to something that, on the outside of it, looked very cliched, especially when it comes to geriatric action or
Geriatric.
geriaction, geriaction films. But this is Absolution.
An aging gangster attempts to reconnect with his children and rectify the mistakes in his past, but the criminal underworld won't loosen their grip willingly. Starring Liam Neeson, Ron Perlman, Yolanda Ross, and Daniel Diemer. Directed by Hans Petter Moland.
And I mean, if there is a king of the geriaction film, it is Liam Neeson. Ever since Taken, ever since we found out that he had a certain set of skills, one of them being a guy that has no track over where his daughter and wife are, and they always get kidnapped. Um, but the bar was barely off the ground for this film heading into it, and I was honestly surprised by it. And it's funny because this is a movie that deals with losing your memory, which he's already done in the film Memory. Playing
Oh.
I believe a hitman that was losing his memory. This film, he is playing, an aging boxer who works as a heavy for the local gang, that years of CTE is causing him to basically head, you know, head down into dementia. So he wants to reconnect with his family, and it actually kind of works. The film actually, um, it's surprisingly good. I don't know if it's Liam Neeson rocking a mustache that makes it work, but there's a certain charisma to this film that actually makes it entertaining and makes it a little off of the beaten path of which he usually does. So I was possibly surprised by this film, that this film actually had a little bit of substance to it. And maybe that's a Hans Peter Molland, who did a film that I really like, called In Order of Disappearance with Stellan Skarsgård. It was remade as a terrible Liam Neeson movie called Cold Pursuit, which is also directed by the same filmmaker. I don't know why you would remake your own film and make it bad, but
Yeah, that's an
it's
odd choice.
confusing. It's a confusing move. But Absolution is absolutely not terrible. Let's do something fun, and something Canadian, at its core. This is the follow up, no connection other than it's the same director and writer, to Psycho Goreman. This is Frankie Frico.
Workaholic yuppie Connor is in an existential rut until one night he catches a bizarre ad for a party hotline hosted by a strange dancing goblin, Frankie Frico. Could this be just the recipe to spice up his boring life? Starring Connor Sweeney, Matthew Kennedy, Christy Wordsworth, and Adam Brooks. Written and directed by Steven Kostanski. Kostanski. I don't know why I added extra syllables in there, but
Yeah, you just needed them.
just
Every now and then you just need
just a
a
little.
few extra syllables. You just a little spice. I'll drop it in there. Have you ever watched Psycho Goreman or heard of Psycho Goreman?
No.
You got to put it on your list because it's hysterically funny.
Okay.
It's like a creature feature, lots of gore, lots of just ridiculous shit in this movie. It is so good. I think it's totally up your alley. I think you would watch it and be like, "What the fuck?"
Okay.
And probably we would be trading lines from this movie because it's hilarious. But it's a high bar to follow up. And Frankie Frico really tries to do its best. This is Konstanski, who also did a movie called The Void, which is a very much darker film than his debut, I believe, and then Psycho Goreman would be his second feature. This one is like it's again another creature feature, but he's playing way more into the comedy side, this side, and the slapstick side, and it kind of reminds me of a Gremlins-esque type film from the mid '80s. Um, kind combined with this movie that's also from the '80s called 976 Evil.
Okay.
It's just a little all over the place. I really like what Kostanski is going for in this film, but I just felt like it just wasn't enough. He didn't go hardcore enough. And I thought the out of the film was really kind of I don't have another word to say this, but it just felt kind of lame. The exit on this film, I just wasn't fully there on. I'll send you this screener as well because it's still worth checking out, especially for the creature effects and the fact that somebody's still doing this kind of like practical work. Really, it is really exciting to me. And I love that. I love that these movies still kind of get made, but it just comparing to Psycho Goreman, it just wasn't even close. Let's get nostalgic for a TV show and a fandom that kind of grabbed people up for about 6 years. This is Getting Lost.
A documentary revisiting the global television phenomenon Lost, featuring interviews with the cast and crew as well as members of the loyal fan base who still celebrate the show 20 years after it originally aired. Directed by Taylor Morden.
And I mean, I'm a sucker for anything pop culture related or looking back at like music stuff, movie stuff, TV stuff. Like that's kind of my jam. This film does feel a little bit low pro. It's not quite at like an HBO documentary level at all. But they do have a lot of the cast, if not they're definitely missing some people like Matthew Fox isn't in this one.
He's like the
Naveen
main guy.
Andrews. I know Naveen Andrews is in it. Dominic Monaghan's not in it. But Josh Holloway is in it. Jorge Garcia, Evangeline Lilly, like some of the main cast. Terry O'Quinn, who played Locke. Like there is still a substantial amount, and then a lot of like very like they were like in one scene as like an extra. Like there's a few of them like that are just like part of the whole Lost phenomenon. I didn't realize that there was such that there was an expose on the writers' room, and they were like called out for being like a toxic environment and shit like that, and being like racist and
What
sexist
the
and shit
hell?
like that.
Okay.
Yeah, I had no idea because they added they at the time what like for that series run they were a pretty diverse show on television, right? Because yeah, I mean the top three love triangle are all white people, but you had Saeed and an Iraqi character. You have two Korean
Yeah.
characters. Like um there were like there was representation, but by the end of the series there really wasn't. They like basically killed off all the representation by the end of the series. So and it gets pointed out like the double sides of the scales are present in this one, which I did appreciate. Like they definitely showed um the ugly side of Lost and what wasn't working. Also, I didn't know that Bobby Moynihan from Saturday Night Live, and like a shitload of movies and television shows, he's like an uber Lost fan, and like has like a shitload of the like the Dharma stuff and like set props and stuff like that. So I thought that was really funny. But yeah, it's an interesting show about fandom. So yeah.
Cool.
All right, I got one thing that I checked out on the streaming services, so let's get to it. All right, the streaming pile, nothing really big to talk about, but I thought I would give this one a shot because there actually is some kind of real life weight behind it. It's Matlock.
Follows Madeline Matlock as she rejoins the workforce at a prestigious law firm where she uses her wily tactics to win cases and expose wrongdoing. Starring Kathy Bates, Sky P. Marshall, Jason Ritter, David Del Rio, and Leah Lewis. Created by Jenny Snyder Ehrman, available on Paramount Plus.
And what on the outside, this looks like, oh, they're just rebooting another like old show or whatever, and like lame. But Matlock is only being resurrected in name only. This has no connection to the Andy Griffith original series. Actually, that show exists as a television show on this television show. So it's just like more of like a funny anecdote, and that's it. It's more just they're just using it as this retirement age woman that feels like she still has more left in her. So she basically works her way into a large firm in the city, but there's a twist, and I won't give it away. It's at the end of the first episode. But more of this show is Kathy Bates' last hurrah. Like this is the retirement show.
Yeah.
Much like Gary Oldman is using Slow Horses as his "I'm going to retire once this show's canceled" shows. This is Kathy Bates one, and it's funny because it just got renewed for a season 2, so the retirement's been put off for a bit, but she's an actress I've really enjoyed for a long time. And she's I mean, as far as a human being, she's beaten cancer twice, so
Wow.
that's good on her. So and I like Jason Ritter a lot, and he's in this show, so yeah, it's nothing. It's not reinventing lawyer shows at all or
Yeah.
courtroom procedurals. It's just not. It's just not the brand new one is going to change the whole genre. It's just another lawyer show. Let's get to what's new in the library. All right, got a few things to add, and they're just kind of older films, 2000 to 2005-ish era. The first one's American Movie, and this is kind of a documentary about a guy's trying to make a film. And funny enough, I believe this was the featured debut of I'm spacing on his last name. It's like Chris Smith, I think. And he directed this film, but I became more popular, I think, in the news in the like COVID era because he directed all of Tiger King.
Oh, okay.
Um, yeah, so Tiger King, the whole Carol Baskins show, the also the one that they did with the Bhagavan Antel, the other guy that was running another he was running another wildlife retreat. He directed that, and he just did the recent Mr. McMahon documentary on Netflix, which is also really good. But American Movie is kind of where it all started. So I got sent the 4K, and it's just a classic indie film to its core. I also got Nine Queens. This is an Argentinian grifter film, like a con film,
Okay.
and I love films like this deeply, deeply to their core. And I've already seen this story before because the first time I watched it was the American remake of it, because of course Americans love to remake foreign films, and they remade this as a film called Criminal with John C. Riley, Diego Luna, and Maggie Gyllenhaal. And it's a damn solid movie. Like, I really, really enjoyed that movie. So when I saw this film um, available to review, I had to pick it up. So I'm very excited about that one. And then an absolute classic, the final Robert Altman film before he passed away, A Prairie Home Companion, which is set at the Grand Ole Opry, does the full just kind of shows the behind the scenes and the stage production of A Prairie Home Companion with Garrison Keillor and the rest of his cast and the rest of the front of house and backstage staff as well. Huge cast in this one. Maya Rudolph, Kevin Kline, John C. Riley, Woody Harrelson, Lindsay Lohan's in this one. And this is like 2005, 2006. So she hadn't quite spiraled out. Like, this is probably just after Mean Girls, so she's still kind of at her height. Lily Tomlin's in this one, and it's just a really, really good movie. Rumored that Altman was too ailing in the decline before he died making this film. That Paul Thomas Anderson actually took over and directed most of this film. But I already had it on DVD, so when I saw it on Blu-ray, I was like, taking that, taking it. All right, let's finish up on a few shows that I cruised through all the episodes on. That's right. Now that it's over, and these ones are more relevant than when I talked about Ozark a couple of weeks or last week. That was last week. And I also talked about Minx, but then the copyright police came in and I had to cut that part out. But I finished Minx too, and it's really good. You should probably watch it. All right. So first is the most recent piece to the Marvel universe is Agatha All Along.
A spellbound Agatha Harkness regains freedom thanks to a teen's help. Intrigued by his plea, she embarks on the witch's road trials to reclaim her powers and discover the teen's motivations. Starring Kathryn Hahn, Joe Locke, Deborah Jo Rupp, Aubrey Plaza, Sashir Zamata, Ali An, Okwiu Okpak Wasili, Patty Lapone. I fucking did it. I did it.
You fucking
I
did
did
that.
it.
You fucking did that. You fucking did that.
Jesus Christ. I can speak. I can read, guys. I'm not illiterate. Evan Peters, Maria Dizia, Paul Adelstein, and Miles Gutierrez Riley. Created by Jack Schaefer, available on Disney Plus.
It's funny when we got to that one, we were like,
Yes.
it's funny. Miles Gutierrez Riley was just in Smile 2. He's Naomi Scott's character's assistant,
Okay.
and he's great in it. Have you seen Smile 2 yet?
Not yet. I haven't seen anything new. I've been locked in my house.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, when you can, It's fun. It's worth it. I think it's worth it. Anyway, yes, he's also very quick and done in this series as well. He plays Joe Locke's love interest in it, and I think he's just in it for one episode, to be honest. But I dig Agatha all along. I feel like it should be on that Loki level. It is Marvel taking so many chances with it, and I feel like it does pay off a lot because Catherine Hahn as an actress is fucking worth it. She's worth following down the road with. Aubrey Plaza as well. Aubrey Plaza, I adore her in every all of the energy she brings to her performances and just that attitude. I really like it, and the cast really works. It's the story felt unpredictable. I'm assuming from the ending that they're going to do more, that there's going to be a second season or something, or another miniseries, possibly not called Agatha All Along, but this piece needs to continue. I know that there's more because I after the final episode, I was like, it's too cliffhangery. This can't just be a miniseries. So I enjoy what Jack Schaefer has done. And this is kind of my first time seeing Joe Locke in something. I know he's on the Netflix show Heartstopper. That's kind of a big hit. But I dig him. I think he was really good in this. And I like that Wiccan and possibly Hulkling are now in the MCU. I think that's very cool. Let's move on to another show that ended its run. And I binged all the episodes. Well, actually, I binged the first 8 episodes and then like had to sit and wait for weeks and weeks and weeks to finish it. But it's Only Murders in the Building.
Three strangers who live in the same New York City apartment building and share an obsession with true crime suddenly find themselves embroiled in a murder. Starring Steve Martin, Martin Short, Selena Gomez, Aaron Dominguez, Amy Ryan, Cara Delevingne, Adina Verson, and Michael Cyril Creighton. Created by Steve Martin and John Hoffman. Available on Disney Plus.
I know you haven't started this series yet, but I
No.
think you will really enjoy it. I think the humor. I feel like the humor is going to hit with you. Um, but it's just another brilliant season. This one I think hits the emotional heartstrings a lot more than any other season did before. I love the chemistry between Martin Short and Meryl Streep. I think they're a perfect on-screen duo, which is something I never would have thought. I never would have put those two together. It's just like really great stunt casting, and it's with this show I mean does so well. The fact that they can make these big wide arcs and cast these big actors and not make it feel like such a reach,
Mm-hmm.
or that they're making an obvious grab for ratings. Um, and I'm excited for what happens next because I know that they've been renewed for another season. I don't know if it's going to be a final one, but I know that they've been renewed for one more. So I'm excited to see where it goes. And finish this off. It's a docu-series and one about European football at its core. It's Welcome to Wrexham.
Docuseries chronicling the purchase and stewardship of Wrexham AFC, one of professional football's oldest clubs, by two Hollywood actors, Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney. Starring Rob McElhenney, Ryan Reynolds, Humphrey Kerr, Fleur Robinson, Sean Harvey, Phil Parkinson, Paul Mullen, Jordan Davies, Aaron Hayden, and Ollie Palmer. Available on Disney Plus.
Yeah, it looks like I went all Disney Plus. It was like we were
Yeah,
sponsored by Disney Plus this week, and I'm wearing a Star Wars shirt too, and I'm like,
my
we've been purchased
my bud is
by.
Disney Plus too. So
Oh, so yeah, see, we're corporate. We went corporate. We really didn't go
I
corporate.
fucking wish.
Yeah, I wish we were sponsored. Get the money. Welcome to Wrexham. I mean, on its surface, it does look like a European football sports docuseries, and there is a large portion of it that is that, but it is also like human interest stories, how embedded into the culture this club is and what it means to the history of Wrexham. That's really interesting. Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney's friendship always is really great to see on screen. And I don't know, like I don't know how much longer this show can keep going and keep but I feel like honestly the tenure is the limit. Like as long as they own this team, this documentary could follow them, and I still think it's fairly popular. So um I mean, you can easily find out how these teams are doing way before this series ends, but I don't really follow the sport that well, so it's still kind of exciting to me while I watch it. But I'm enjoying it and looking forward to the next season for sure. And that's it for those. Let's get to some reminders. This week's reminders, there's some good stuff this week. There's also some not so good stuff that we can help steer you away from. First up, Blink Twice is on Blu-ray. I got my copy of it, and I'm pretty pumped at it because it's like my favorite thriller of the year, probably. Zoe Kravitz's directorial debut. She also wrote the film and wrote Channing Tatum a hell of a role. There's a scene in the third act that I think is Channing Tatum's finest outing on screen. He's just so damn good in it. I don't know if you've gotten a chance to see Blink Twice yet, but
Not yet, but I
it's
do
really
want to
good.
see it.
Yeah, it's really really good. Also, so I did a full review of that one on the September 6th episode. You can go back and check that one out. Also, M. Night Shyamalan's Trap is out on Blu-ray and 4K. I have my 4K copy of the Lady Raven concert extravaganza that happens in midday, because you know that's when big concerts happen. Did you see Trap yet? I don't
No,
know.
I've been
Okay.
I don't like people who regularly watch our show know that I'm an M Night simp, but just the amount of bad shit that's been coming out about this movie, I'm like, oh, like I'm scared to watch it.
I just want to read your notes on it after,
Yeah,
because I know there will be
yes.
just absolute notes. But I reviewed that on the August 9th episode. Also on Blu-ray this week, the AI house film
No.
Afraid is out, and Chloe reviewed it on the October 11th episode. And what were some of your thoughts on this movie?
Stupid. Um Megan did it a lot better. Uh I don't know who came up with the idea of your kids are gonna love your house more than you. Um, I don't know who came up with that idea, but they need to stop coming up with ideas permanently. Um, just stupid, like super unrelatable characters, dumb ass writing, like the dumbest writing that I think I've seen maybe this year. Um, I it just like I don't know, like everything made me mad. Um, I don't think anybody even knew what they were doing in this movie. Like everybody, like every time somebody delivered a line, people were like you could see on the actors' faces, like, why the fuck am I here? What choices led me here?
Perfect.
Um,
Perfect.
watch this
All the
movie
bad
if
ones.
you want to get mad, and
Okay.
just shit on a
That's
movie,
a
which I enjoy
that's a
doing.
good
So works for me.
that's a good. There we go. Speaking of shitting on movies, The Crow is out this week on Blu-ray and 4K. A movie I thoroughly, thoroughly, thoroughly hated so much, and it like took my 1994 film and just like kicked it into a puddle. It just made me so sad. Um, and I reviewed that on the August 30th episode of the show. And finally, and I feel like we both might actually make a play to get this on Blu-ray. Strange Darling is out
Ooh.
this week on Blu-ray. Uh, in my opinion, one of the best movies of the year, and I believe you said it is your favorite movie of the year right now.
It is still, I believe, my favorite movie of the year. Yeah, and that's not just because
Uh,
I'm obsessed with Kyle Gallner.
Another reason to watch Smile 2,
Yeah,
at least just for the beginning. And honestly, just the best way to watch this movie is with just knowing nothing at all about it and just to put it on.
yeah,
Buy that Blu-ray, throw it in your machine, watch it. You will not be disappointed. Any butts? Butts? No butts?
yeah. I'm gonna bring my butt. Like I've been saying, I've been stuck on my couch for 2 weeks now. Haven't had anything to do. Brain's been mush because I've had COVID. Um, and then once this COVID started getting better, I got pink eye in both eyes. So
Oh my god.
yeah, I've been through the ringer a little bit. So like I haven't really been able to watch anything like new, anything that requires a lot of brain power. Uh, so I decided to throw on a at this point, well, this year in 2024, a 20-year-old gem that is the series Desperate Housewives.
Oh my god. Yep.
The grip that this show has on me. I love this show. Even my fucking partner Julius loves this show. Like I put it on because I was like I don't know what to do, man. Like we don't really have much going on right now, so whatever. And he's like, oh my god, like this is ridiculous. 15 minutes in. So like how many seasons of this is there? 8? Okay, good.
7.
8. It's
8.
8.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is our main show now, and it's amazing. I love it. Um, it's not what I was expecting at all. Like I didn't expect there to be like multiple like murder plots and everything in it. So yeah, I don't know.
um, do you want to hear some random trivia
Sure.
that I learned from the Child Star movie? Um, Eva Longoria's daughter
Hmm.
in it, Sophia,
Yes. No. Juanita.
Juanita. That's Demi Lovato's sister.
I learned that too. Actually, I learned that before I started watching the show. Like right before I started watching it, because Facebook has been like throwing this show at me constantly, and I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
fine, I'll watch it. Um, yeah, that was
It's
really
Kyle
weird to
McLaughlin.
learn.
Yeah. Is Kyle McLaughlin in the show yet?
No, I'm still in season 1.
Okay. Kyle McLaughlin's great. He just makes anything and everything great, and it's him and Marsha Cross. It's the love interest. So yeah,
Okay.
good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah, I because I was working at Rogers at the time, and they were bringing that in for rental, so I just rented all the discs as they came in.
Nice.
Yeah, I feel the pain on that one. But you're desperate housewifing. Enjoy. If you have season 1, you have 7 more seasons to go, so enjoy that. All right, so what's going on next week? And it's the continued journey of movies that have already been out for a week, because until the week of Gladiator 2 and Wicked, basically I'm doing the week olds for the next week, because I have Here, which will be their number 1 movie next week, the Tom Hanks and Robin Wright film, and then the week after that will be Heretic, which with Hugh Grant, which I'm very, very, very excited for. Here, not so much. And if you look at the Rotten Tomatoes on it right now, you'll exactly see where my pain is on this. But yeah, that's next week. But that is it for this week. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, Letterboxd, and Threads at The Stevel Dead.
You can find me on Letterboxd at HoneyBunChloe.
You can find all of these shows at stevestebbing.ca. And you can also search my name, Steve Stebbing, on YouTube. We're also on shiftheads.ca. I'm on Shane Hewitt and the Night Shift on the iHeartRadio network. Also on News 1010 in Toronto, 8 o'clock Eastern time on Fridays. And that's it for us. We've emptied out our list. We got to fill it up again. Until then, bye-bye.